3 o'clock, good to have you aboard. The what?
Not this song.
It's a classic. David's background vocals are outstanding.
Which is just so fun. Yeah, it's like David. He's singing this. I'm thinking Pastor David. I'm imagining him in that collar that he did for when he prayed for Cade for Detroit, singing the dong bong.
David returns Monday from vacation. I want to get to this Lions thing because the only thing we could come up with preseason-wise, obviously, we don't want to see anybody get hurt. I think doing the what are you looking for this weekend preseason topic sucks and is the epitome of laziness. I wanted to throw this your way. There are a couple of backup quarterbacks around the league that are expected to be released as rosters get down to 53, and for all intents and purposes, the preseason ends. One of them, and it's the headliner because I think at least you guys know who he is Mason Rudolph, Pittsburgh Steelers backup. The expectation is Mason Rudolph's going to be gone. The Lions are number 2 in the waiver order. And I just wanted to ask a question here because I feel like this is so simple, it's so easy, it's so obvious. Don't the Lions have to pick up a veteran backup here before the season starts? We've gone largely 12 to 15 years without a backup. And Jared Goff's the guy. It's no secret. David Blau and Tim Boyle are unplayable. They are horrific. They're not legitimate backup quarterbacks in this league. And the Lions, for whatever reason, refuse to go out and get a backup. Now, I know I believe in this team a little more than Rico. Fine. No one's saying they're going to a Super Bowl. But how can you have optimism for this team and not think they need a backup? If Jared Goff rolls an ankle and is out for a series in the late third quarter of a game you're in, you can't put Tim Boyle or David Blau in a game. You can put Mason Rudolph. Now, again, is Rudolph good? No. But he's one of the Avengers compared to your backups. So whether you like or hate Rudolph, here's the topic. Don't the Lions have to go get someone before the season starts? Choose your own adventure. There will be several backup quarterbacks available. All I'm saying is you need to go get one, right?
It's so simple, but then if it was that simple, why haven't they done this before, Mike? Because every year, it just makes sense. Go get somebody. I mean, back when he was just being of Ryan Fitzpatrick, like, yeah, go get this guy. When Stafford was here, get this guy. Stafford goes down. Stafford never goes down, but, man, if he does, you don't lose your season. Because right here, right now, you lose Goff. And we're now talking about, tanking. Right. And not tanking because you want them to tank. Tanking because you don't really have an NFL quarterback out there.
Right.
Like you might as well run the Wildcat.
What's amazing is, I look at a team like the Washington Commanders, who I think is very similar to you. I do. And, yeah, they have Carson Wentz. They also have Taylor Heineke. Taylor Heineke's a legit backup in this league. He's a kid who started a playoff game, played pretty well against the Bucs that night. The Giants are very similar to you. The Giants have Tyrod Taylor, or apparently he's changed his name at age 35 to Rod. Whatever. Either way, imagine if the Lions had Tyrod Taylor as a backup here. That's a legit backup. That's a guy who can start for 3 weeks and not sink the boat.
Here's what it tells me. When you have a legitimate backup, you're serious about trying to win games. Because in the NFL, and maybe the Lions got spoiled because Stafford seemed like he never was injured here.
Right.
So he played all 16 games. But it gives you that Band-Aid, that bridge that you can make it for 3 games while your quarterback is dinged up, that maybe you can go 2-1. Or even if you just go 1-2, you didn't tank and lose all 3 games and really set yourself back.
Extra playoff spot. You have the extra game. If you're playing even remotely meaningful games near Thanksgiving and you don't have a backup, you're in dereliction of your duty as a general manager. Yeah. For the life of me, I don't understand what they see in Blau and Boyle. I don't get it. I've never gotten it. And anytime they play, I don't see a shred of hope that either guy can do anything but ruin my chances to win.
See, the David Blau thing, he was young, and maybe you thought you found the next Tom Brady coming from Purdue.
Get out.
His first game, he actually looked pretty good, so maybe we got something here. But then Water found his level, and no. I mean, you're talking more about his wife on Hard Knocks than him. That should be a hint and a half for you. No, if you're the Lions and you're talking about really being serious now of all the grit and culture and all the other stuff that Dan Campbell is saying, this is a part of it because it's an insurance policy. It is saying we can make it if our QB goes down because, heaven forbid, you lose Goff in week 2 or week 3. It'll be like watching the Tigers all over again. This thing will be over with, and thank God you'll have college football because at least you'd have something to watch on the weekend.
So let me run down this list. This is just something I picked up, and away we go. Here are the list of, according to NFL.com, notable players that could be traded and or cut. And let's approach this. They're all going to be cut because why would I trade for someone who's going to be out there? Okay. So Mason
7th
Rudolph.
round supplemental pick.
All right. Mason Rudolph is one. Everyone knows it, right? The next one, Miami Dolphins, right? Remember this name? Lynn Bowden.
Lynn Bowden, yeah. Wow.
Remember?
Wait. I'm trying to think.
Lynn Bowden. Think throat tat.
Okay.
But press. Okay.
Kentucky.
Right. There you go. That's, guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go hit the Google machine. Again, Andre Dillard, offensive lineman, no. Jalen Rieger, wide receiver, no. Isaiah Wynn, tackle, no. Terrence Marshall Jr. I don't think the Lions need wide receivers. I don't. Darius Slayton, no. I'm just
that's
looking.
one position I think the Lions are actually doing well at as wide receiver.
Jimmy Garoppolo listed as a cut candidate, but that's not realistic because he wants to start. Ian Book, backup for the Saints. If you're interested, former ND guy. Ronald Jones, no. A collection of garbage backs from the Dolphins.
Okay,
no.
but hold on. Let's back up to Garoppolo for a second.
Sure.
Yes, he wants to start. I don't see why that would be a bad thing if you brought him here because if anything, he pushes Goff. If he takes the job from Goff, you go with the better quarterback, right? And if he doesn't, he pushes Goff knowing I can't go out there and have bad games because I have somebody who is a legitimate starter just like me. He's gone to the Super Bowl. He's gone to NFC title games. Maybe put a pin in that one.
Bottom line. There are several quarterbacks I just gave you. And I'm not doing this as a radio topic. Like, I'm serious. Every one of them's better than your backups.
Yeah.
Every one of them. Whether it's Nick Mullins, whether it's Ian Book, whether it's Mason Rudolph. And I didn't want to bore you with the names at the start, but I'm giving you some context. I just want to know as a Lions fan, don't you think they need to scoop somebody up here? I mean, hey, if you think the team's going to stink and you're not into the topic, that's okay. I don't think they're going to stink. I don't think they're going to be hopeless. And what I don't want is for one hit or, hey, concussion protocol, and now I'm only up 3 and Goff's out the rest of the game. I want someone to come in, not to save the day, but to just keep the water out of the boat. I'm sorry. David Blau and Tim Boyle are not that. So I want, listen, maybe it's a bad job by me. Maybe nobody wants to talk about a backup QB, but I wanted to give you some Lions football here.
No, you don't want to talk about your quarterback getting hurt. It's that whole, we don't talk about no-hitters as the no-hitters is going on. It's the superstitious thing. Because if you start planning for your quarterback to get hurt, what's going to happen? Quarterback's going to get hurt. Guys, it happens in the league. You got spoiled with Matthew Stafford here. But most of your quarterbacks go down at some point in the season, whether it's for a game, whether it's for 2 or 3. You need somebody that can make sure your team does not go 0-3 and you become another team's homecoming game, because that's what's going to happen. You line up on Thanksgiving, and it's David Blau versus Josh Allen. Good luck with that.
Right, at least if I have a legitimate backup, you might pull a rabbit out of the hat, and it's the difference in A, keeping your season alive, or B, if this thing actually goes the way I think it could, might be the difference in being in the graphic. 248-539-9797. And if you just think we're idiots for bringing this up as a topic, that plays too. I could live with that.
But Mike, here's where, and I know in the playoffs they did not do well. But you look at the Arizona Cardinals, they had Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy stepped in when Kyler Murray went down.
He's a good backup.
And I believe he won like 3 or 4 games with them. Like, he kept it on float where everybody thought the thing was going to go bad. They actually improved their status, and then Murray came back, and the bottom fell out. Same could be for the Lions. Go get a legitimate, serious backup because injuries happen. And if you get somebody that pushes Goff, that's okay too.
See, I don't think that's okay.
I do.
No, I don't think it's okay because the team doesn't think it's okay. I think they've done everything in their power to prop Goff up.
Then you know what? If you're telling me all this grit and new culture and you're tired of same old Lions, do something different. Because this is same old Lions to sit there and say, nah, our 2 backups are good enough. No, they're not.
248-539-9797. Kenny, you're a Lions guy. I mean, do you think we're insane, both as radio hosts and talking about the team, for saying, look, they got to go get a backup this weekend, right?
Well, yeah, and for the last few years, I've always wondered, why are we subjecting ourselves to having our backup plan be guys that just are not NFL caliber quarterbacks, even in a backup sense? So, yeah, I think you absolutely take a look at Randall or Rudolph. 100%. Why wouldn't you? My question is, what's the downside?
I don't have a downside.
Like, he's not going to cost you an arm and a leg.
I've never understood this team's refusal to have a legitimate backup.
Year after year. Oh, well, we drafted some guy in the 7th round. We got Bob Felicia's son. Yeah, that didn't work out. I mean, you got to go get me something, because when you get a decent, good backup, you're telling the world, we believe we're serious. Because
that's how I feel.
This says, well, if Goff doesn't get anything, we're just going to go ahead and get that quarterback next year high up in the draft.
And the other thing I would say, guys, look, if you I mean, I'm not asking you to do this, but if you were bored, go look at QB depth charts around the league. Tell me you don't have the worst backup quarterbacks in the league every year. And it makes no sense to me.